The day my husband Ethan's first love returned to the country. Both of us ended up trending online. She was the dazzling queen of the entertainment industry. I became the laughingstock, a pathetic woman clinging to unrequited love. When Ethan called, his voice was icy. Business dinner tonight. Not coming home. Through the car window, I watched him walk into the hotel with Emma in his arms. Okay, my response caught in my throat as sudden force from behind knocked the breath from my lungs. Ethan paused. What are you doing? I bit my lip and hung up. Scorching breath grazed my ear as the man behind me thrust harder. Think he'll notice us over here? News of Emma's return had dominated the news for a month. When I went to pick Ethan up from his business dinner, I hesitated at the private room's entrance. His friend's voice drifted through the cracked door. Emma's coming back. What'll happen to Lily then? Ethan's reply came through cigarette smoke. His lowered eyes shadowed by lashes. What do you mean? Come on. She's still your lawfully wedded wife. I saw his lips twist in the dim light. The mole on his nose accentuated by the chandelier. She said it herself. No matter how badly I treat her, she'll never leave. Because she loves me. His friend chuckled. True. The Wilsons have been bankrupt for years. She only landed you by mimicking Emma's looks. Pathetic. Did you know she actually? I pushed the door open. Ethan. The room froze. Dozens of eyes flickered with barely concealed contempt. Ethan stood, draping his suit jacket over his arm. I'm heading home. He remained silent until I started the engine. You heard everything. It wasn't a question. I met his gaze. Your shadow gave you away. He tapped the window with his signet ring. You've always been sensible. Lily. Let's keep it that way. In a month, I expect you to stay in your lane. I understood. Ethan was warning me not to harm his precious Emma. I'd known I was a replacement since our engagement. After the Wilsons' bankruptcy, my resemblance to the famous Emma made Ethan choose me. My parents were ecstatic. Don't ruin this for us. My father had warned. Disappoint Mr. Johnson. And you're no daughter of ours. For 3 years, I've anticipated Ethan's every need. Yet he always looked at me like something stuck to his shoe. Sometimes when drunk, he'd grip my chin and sneer, how dare you share her face? Other times, he'd bury his nose in my hair and slur, why did you leave me? Do you regret it now that I've married this cheap imitation? Those nights always ended painfully. If I resisted, he'd sneer, this is what your parents trained you for. Isn't it? Under the harsh bedroom light, his mole seemed to burn into my skin. I'd close my eyes and comply. Now, gripping the steering wheel, I whispered, I understand. The day Emma returned, the airport was packed with fans there to welcome her. Ethan had hired people to create a rose-covered runway stretching over 30 feet at the arrival's gate. Emma walked down the floral path, her eyes glistening as she threw herself into Ethan's waiting arms at the end. The moment was captured on camera, edited with dreamy filters and the caption timeless devotion, instantly rocketing to the top of social media trends. Emma, the golden girl of the Davis family, had always lived dramatically from her debut as an actress to her whirlwind romance with Ethan. Even after their breakup, her overseas studies, and Ethan's marriage to me, legions of fans still obsessed over their ship. In the corporate parking garage, I sat curled in my car, fingers pressed against my cramping stomach as I scrolled the trending list. Among the names dominating the charts, Ethan, Emma was mine. Lily, the knockoff gold digger bitch. Emma's too good for this leech. Emma's fans despised me. They saw me as some down-and-out social climber who'd schemed her way into the Johnson fortune using a face eerily similar to Emma's. Some even claimed I'd been the other woman who drove Emma abroad, dredging up these accusations every few months. Ethan never once defended me. I'd once glimpsed his message to Emma, if trashing her makes you feel better, I'll hire more trolls. Just come home sooner? That's how I learned the hate campaigns weren't just tolerated, they were bankrolled by my own husband. I numbly scrolled through the vitriolic comments until a new hashtag abruptly dethroned the trending romance, #RyanReturns. My trembling finger hovered over the screen. The video showed a man in a black tee, sharp-eyed with a faint mole gracing his aristocratic nose. He strode through the crowd, crushing Ethan's rose display underfoot. "Are you blind?" Ethan grabbed his arm, furious. The man turned, diamond earring glinting. "My apologies." His voice held arctic indifference, gaze sweeping over Ethan like discarded trash. "Send the bill to my agent." "This isn't about money." Ryan glanced at the ruined petals. "Then what's this? Extortion? Online." Emma's stance clashed with Ryan's fans. "Who does this cocky bastard think he is? World champion versus cheating man whore, even blind moles know who's hotter." World champion. The term made me pause. A quick search revealed Ryan a sports prodigy. Last year's global tournament champion. Recently signed by a domestic club for $5,800,000. His meteoric rise combined elite gaming skills with model looks, amassing a fan base spanning continents. He'd become someone untouchable. As my vision blurred from pain, the ghost of a memory surfaced, a drenched boy waiting like a stray puppy in the rain outside my dorm. Back when we still believed in forever. My phone lit up with a message from him. "Really done with me? Did I do something wrong? Did I hurt you? Lily. Don't you dare come crawling back to me later." After that last vicious text, Ethan blocked me everywhere and vanished overseas following his family's orders. 7 years passed without a word. I never imagined I'd see him again at my husband's romantic setup for another woman. How absurd. Squeezing my eyes shut, I could practically see those striking eyes, sharp and mocking, glaring at social media trends about the knockoff version of me. What would he think? Probably that I deserved this. Ethan didn't come home that night. His text arrived at 9:47 p.m., business dinner. Sleep alone. My fingers moved automatically. Need a ride? The moment I hit send, I remembered Emma was back. This business dinner was clearly her welcome party. His reply came swift and cruel. Must I spell it out? Know your place. Lily. I set the phone down silently. Showered. Then placed the divorce papers from my lawyer in his study. Emerging, I found a new friend request glowing on my screen, Ryan. The moment I accepted, a photo appeared, Ethan's arm wrapped around Emma's waist in some dim bar booth, his lips grazing her cheek. Tears burned as I typed, "Here to laugh at me?" The typing bubbles taunted me until his response dropped, "Feel like making them pay?" At the bar entrance, I kept checking Ryan's seat number when a familiar voice growled, "Here." Warm fingers closed around my wrist, yanking me against a solid chest. His scent, wood smoke and mint, flooded my senses as his palm cradled my skull. Quiet. Ryan's voice vibrated against my ear, lower and rougher than I remembered. Your husband and his mistress just passed. Wouldn't want to spoil their fun. My throat tightened. The Ryan I'd known at 20 was different, all earnest passion and whispered promises. He'd pinned me against his piano once, kissing until we gasped, foreheads touching as he murmured, "Say we'll always be together. Lily. Say it or I'll never let go. You done clinging?" His present-day voice snapped me back to reality. I stepped away, staring up at the face that haunted 7 years of memories. The moment he leaned in too close, the sharp angles of his brows accentuated the icy glint in his eyes. I steadied my breathing, forcing calm into my voice. "I'm sorry." Ryan took complete control of our movements afterward. With practiced ease, he guided me through dim corridors to a sleek silver-black Lamborghini parked outside. The engine roared to life as we accelerated to follow Ethan's car ahead. "Should you really be driving after drinking?" I couldn't help asking. "I didn't drink." Ryan glanced sideways, his profile illuminated by passing streetlights. Alcohol affects reaction times. In competitions, the smallest margin decides everything. His world of professional gaming felt alien to me. Silence stretched until we halted outside an upscale apartment complex. Watching Ethan's silhouette disappear through glass doors with Emma clinging to his arm. "What's this revenge plan exactly?" I finally asked. Ryan's mouth curved as he thumbed his own chest. "Consider me your countermeasure. Let's give the cheating bastard a taste of his own medicine." His penthouse near the esports training center smelled faintly of sandalwood. The moment the door clicked shut, I found myself pinned against cool drywall. His breath warmed my lips as he murmured, "Mind if we start with a kiss?" "Don't misunderstand," he added when I stiffened, moonlight catching his smirk. "Just getting into character." My whispered consent barely escaped before his mouth claimed mine with bruising intensity. Calloused hands traced the prominent wings of my shoulder blades through thin fabric. "You've lost weight," he noted, sudden tenderness lacing his words. "I'll be gentle." Memories flooded back, the eager college athlete I'd once seduced and abandoned during darker times. 7 years had refined Ryan's techniques, transforming raw enthusiasm into calculated precision. When tears pricked my eyes from overstimulation, he thumbed them away with a dark chuckle. "Crying already? Seems your husband wasn't much of a challenge." Daylight stabbed through curtains when my phone's insistent ringing dragged me from sleep. Ryan's arm lay heavy across my waist, his breathing still even. The reality of last night's choices hit like cold water, this rising esports star with legions of fans, now entangled in my toxic marriage mess. "I'm sorry," I said quietly, extracting myself. "This is my battle. I shouldn't have dragged you into it." Ryan's laughter held no humor. He yanked me back, teeth grazing my earlobe. "Too late for regrets now, sweetheart." The brutal kiss that followed felt like punishment, like 7 years of bottled resentment given physical form. Yet through the calculated roughness, flashes of the boy I'd known surfaced, the way his breath hitched when I touched a particular spot, the unconscious nuzzle against my hair during momentary pauses. When dawn finally came, the man who'd methodically reduced me to trembling messes now slept with the vulnerable frown of that long-ago youth. The shrill ringtone persisted. I fumbled for my phone, Ryan's sleepy growl vibrating against my back. Let it go to voicemail. His arms snaked around my waist. All traces of last night's anger dissolved into morning drowsiness. Outside, New York's skyline glittered, indifferent to the chaos unfolding in this glass-walled penthouse. The phone had just connected when Ethan's voice came through. "Where are you?" "At the office." "Come home immediately." His voice was tight with suppressed anger. "Lily, what gives you the right to mention divorce?" The line went dead. As I stood, a strong arm wrapped around my waist and yanked me back onto the bed. Ryan pinned my shoulders, his expression stormy. "Planning to use me and disappear?" I caught my breath, gripping his wrist to pry it away. "I need to settle my affairs," I said firmly. The moment I entered the house, papers slapped against my face. Sharp edges nicked my cheek. When I wiped the blood, Ethan stood inches away, eyes dark. "You want divorce because Emma's back? Did you just discover our history? You begged to marry me, willingly became her replacement. What's this sudden act?" "Nothing's changed." I gathered the scattered divorce papers. "The Wilson Group benefited from your support these years, but securing the $1 billion Pine Valley deal for Johnson Corp balances the scales." "Balance?" He laughed coldly, grabbing my chin. "Throwing a tantrum over those trending hate topics about you?" When I stayed silent, his grip tightened. "Here's a deal, Lily. Kneel and please me well enough. I'll make those hashtags vanish." The cloying perfume clinging to him, Emma's signature scent, made me nauseous. Red marks dotted his neck. I shoved him away before his lips could touch mine. "Have you forgotten Emma's return?" He stumbled against the entryway cabinet, fury twisting his features. "If you refuse to sign, my lawyers will file for contested divorce. For your company's stock price, you'd better comply." I remained calm by the doorway. I'll send someone for my belongings later. He wiped his mouth, sneering. You're just a dog I trained. Lily. Within a month, you'll crawl back begging to reconcile. I left without acknowledging his threat, blocking my parents' numbers first. Scrolling up, Ryan's message glared at me, closed training at the club, big match in 2 weeks. For emergencies, call this number. I typed OK. He didn't respond. Later, his name exploded across trending topics, hashtag Ryan Thompson secret account, hashtag Ryan Emma. The viral thread exposed Ryan's old Weibo from his early career. 20 sparse posts. Dumbass bought room temperature Coke for everyone. Can't focus on gaming knowing I'll see her. Fuck. I'm crazy about her. Practicing kissing techniques. The final post was shared 7 summers ago, a slightly grainy photo of 2 teenagers kissing at dusk by the ocean. Their profiles blurred. The caption read, "Endless Summer." The internet exploded. Did anyone see Ryan's alt account post with Emma? He's been single all these years abroad and back home because he's been hung up on her? I'm losing it. Was that airport showdown with Ethan just jealousy? Obsessive netizens dissected the photo and viral airport footage, spawning endless fan edits. Overnight, Emma became the first love in mainstream entertainment. That evening, during a live interview, Emma smiled brightly at the camera. That was years ago. It's ancient history. I never realized he'd still cling to it. Sharp-eyed fans soon unearthed fresh drama. Zoom in. Ethan actually resembles Ryan, especially that mole on the bridge of their noses. But one radiates arrogant privilege, the other icy indifference. I knew Ethan had seen the trending topic. He called. I declined. His follow-up text arrived instantly. Lily. Explain. Now. I blocked him. The competition day arrived. Though a regular season match, Ryan's first game post-retirement combined with the viral love triangle hype drew 70 million live viewers. His team won 3-1. During the post-game presser, a reporter pounced. Care to comment on the photo from your alt account? Alt account? Ryan laced his fingers beneath his chin. Impressive sleuthing. Ever consider FBI recruitment? Undeterred, the reporter pressed. Was that Emma in the photo? Did your airport clash with Ethan stem from jealousy? Ryan lowered his lashes, surveying the rabid press corps. A sudden chuckle escaped him. Her? Within hours, Ryan trended again. Emma's reputation cratered under mockery. Her stans and Ryan's fans brawled in comments. How classless to trash a woman like that. Your fave's the clout chaser. Why should he spare her dignity? Still scrolling through the chaos in my car, I didn't notice my phone being plucked away. Why read trash? Murmured a voice. When you could look at me? I lifted my gaze under the dim cabin lights. Ryan pulled me onto his lap. Can I kiss you? He asked. Then added with a champion's smirk. Best not refuse a winner. The kiss lingered, deepening as his hands wandered, draped over his shoulder. I watched light cascade across his palm like rushing water until my phone rang. An unknown number. Ethan's voice froze the air. Lily. I bit my lip, struggling to steady my breathing. Where are you? I need to see you. Before I could reply, a sharp thrust from behind shattered my composure. Ethan paused, tone turning lethal. What are you doing? Words failed me. With trembling fingers, I ended the call. Ryan leaned close to my ear, his movements growing increasingly fierce while his voice dropped to a whisper. Guess what? Do you think he heard us? That night, he brought me back to his place again. Those nimble fingers that danced across keyboards moved with terrifying speed. Outside, the relentless downpour turned the world into a watercolor blur. Since Ethan hadn't signed the divorce papers yet, I'd kept the settlement documents hidden from Ryan. Yet somehow he'd found out anyway. His references shifted from your husband to your ex overnight. The end of the month gala arrived with media fanfare. The organizers had clearly invited Ryan and Emma to stir drama. When Ryan insisted I accompany him, I frowned. Why bring me? To piss off your ex? He smirked. Solid reason. No? True to form. Emma appeared arm in arm with Ethan. Her silver gown shimmered as she lifted her chin in characteristic hauteur. But Ethan's gaze locked onto me. His expression darkening, the same look I'd seen whenever tabloids splashed Emma's overseas scandals across gossip columns. Post-award ceremony. Emma approached us with champagne flutes. My apologies for the mistaken identity with that photo. I never meant to cause trouble. Can you forgive me? No. Ryan's smile turned glacial. Are you brain dead or just senile? You claimed ownership of a kissing photo featuring strangers. Tell me, MS. Davis, have we ever met? Her composure flickered before she recovered with a honeyed smile. No more misunderstandings now. I'm sure. The venom in her eyes made my stomach twist. Later in our hotel suite, I finally confronted Ryan about the viral beach photo. I took it that day. He admitted bitterly. Thought you actually wanted to discuss our future. My throat tightened. His social media posts from that time radiated hopeful excitement before I coldly dumped him days later. As I opened my mouth to speak, Ryan stiffened. Quiet. Don't you smell that? The cloying sweetness in the air triggered my alarm. I grabbed my phone. Twitter was exploding with hashtag Lily Cheats and hashtag Ryan Homewrecker. Pounding footsteps echoed outside. The door burst open despite being locked, flooding the room with reporters' flashlights. Here's the cheating scum. Ryan pushed his laptop aside with deliberate calm. Lovely timing. Here to sabotage my team's investor meeting? The cameras captured us fully dressed, analyzing game footage at his desk. One reporter shoved forward. Mr. Thompson, why is Mrs. Johnson in your suite this late? Simple. Ryan's grin turned razor sharp. She's my future boss. The detailed announcement about the commercial partnership will be posted later on the club's official social media accounts. As for the rest, Ryan stepped forward to shield me behind him as he drawled lazily. If there's nothing else, get the hell out. The reporters left disgruntled, faces darkening by the second. After they departed, Ryan locked the door before turning to face me. Lily. I blinked dazedly, struggling to focus on his blurred features through the haze clouding my mind. Flames seemed to lick through my veins from throat to chest, every nerve ending scorching as my thoughts swam thickly. You okay? I shook my head sluggishly, burning fingers clutching his collar as I rasped. Hot. Emma's smug expression at the banquet merged with the cloying sweetness lingering in the air, the pieces clicking into place. My body became parched rainforest soil cracking under drought, desperate for monsoon relief. Ryan was the storm cloud I clung to desperately. When the rain ceased abruptly mid-deluge, I looked up in confusion. In the dim light, Ryan's eyes gleamed with unreadable intensity. Lily, are you scared? Of what? If they'd barged in earlier, with us like this. The words shook slightly as movement jostled my voice. He pulled me closer, fingers carding through my hair. Everything would have gone public. Would that frighten you? Yes. Exposure would destroy Ryan's promising career. Another unpayable debt added to what I already owed him. His gaze sharpened in the darkness. Then, would you leave me again? It took prolonged effort to shake my head. I'd tell them I wanted revenge against Ethan, that I seduced you. My gasp vanished into his kiss as shadows lifted from his eyes. Unlike your ex-husband, Ryan murmured against my lips, palm covering my eyes. I actually get things done. His breath scorched my ear with double meaning. Just be sure of your feelings. Leave the rest to me. At dawn, Ryan prepared to return to the club. Leaning against his car, he asked, "Coming? I need to handle things at the company." My father had been furious about the divorce papers Ethan still refused to sign. This stalemate required resolution. After parting ways, I opened Twitter during the commute. I'd originally created the account when Ethan saved Wilson Enterprises from bankruptcy, really just another leash to bind me. From day one, hate flooded my notifications. Die homewrecker. You drove Emma abroad with your scheming. Surgery-addicted copycat. How many procedures to steal her face? I'd ignored the vitriol while stabilizing the company, complying with Ethan's demands under obligation. Now, the trending #adultery scandal tag reignited the frenzy. Gold digger couldn't stop at ruining Ethan? Gotta spread legs for Ryan too? Disgusting slut. The bile continued, but for the first time, I began typing a response. Amidst the sea of vulgar comments, a seemingly rational remark topped the likes list. Even if Ethan and Emma crossed boundaries first, that doesn't excuse you cheating during marriage. Morality exists for self-discipline. My finger hovered over the reply button when Ryan's message flashed, "Stay off Twitter." 4 days. I curled my fingers inward, typing a single OK. He called instantly. "You already saw it, didn't you?" Suddenly, 7 years rewound. I saw Ryan's panicked face when I'd accidentally opened his Stanford acceptance letter on his laptop. His damp hair dripped onto the carpet as we stood frozen in that sweltering August afternoon. "Lily, talk to me." Ryan's present voice shattered the memory. "They're not wrong." My lips twisted into a bitter smile as Wilson Enterprises' glass doors loomed ahead. "I did see." Ryan snorted. "Bullshit. Ethan's the one who couldn't choose between you and Emma. Being with me was self-defense." The term startled a laugh from me. Through the revolving doors, my father's palm cracked across my face before I fully entered. The metallic tang of blood flooded my mouth as my ear rang. "Disgrace." He jabbed his Rolex-clad wrist at me. "How dare you file for divorce? Your mother's hospitalized from the shame. Fix this now or..." Ethan lounged in my office chair, Armani shoes propped on the mahogany desk. "Told you. Lily. You'll come crawling back like a bitch." Memories flickered behind my closed eyelids, my mother's tear-swollen face the night before Ryan and I planned our beach trip. Her knees thudding against marble as she begged. "Your father will ruin Ryan's family. That boy can't save our company." Dad's cigar smoke had curled like prison bars around us. "My daughter doesn't marry broke artists. Your merchandise, act like it." For years of being paraded at galas followed. For years of becoming that gold-digging Wilson girl in tabloid headlines. My childhood ballet trophies and Juilliard auditions reduced to bargaining chips. When I resisted, Dad never hit me. He'd lock Mother in their wine cellar instead, letting her screams echo through the vents until I complied. Now Wilson Enterprises crumbled, and he'd sell every shred of dignity to save it, including mine. Days like these stretched on until that fateful dinner when I encountered Ethan. He was drunk, spotting me across the room before abruptly standing and striding over to embrace me, murmuring Emma against my ear. My heart echoed silently, "Ryan." Their resemblance was subtle, the mole on the bridge of his nose, the slight upward tilt of his eyelids, that habit of looking down through lashes when speaking to shorter people. Nothing more. Certainly not the mirror image similarity between me and Emma. I simply missed Ryan too desperately, along with the less complicated version of myself at 18. "Lily." Ethan's voice snapped me back. He closed the distance, eyes narrowing as his hand closed around my throat. "Entertain me properly tonight, and I might forgive your little affair with Ryan." His grip tightened, cutting off air. I managed to rasp, "Security." The office door burst open. Guards swarmed in, forcing Ethan to release me. My father lunged forward only to be restrained, neck craning as he screamed, "Have you lost your mind, Lily? This is my company." Adjusting my crumpled collar, I regarded them calmly. "It was your company. Seems you haven't grasped the new reality, Dad. The Wilson & Wilson Enterprises now stands for Lily Wilson." The corporate takeover had unfolded gradually during my 3-year marriage. Ethan's family had trusted me implicitly, right up until today. When they discovered I'd systematically replaced every key player with my own loyalists beneath their oblivious noses. Watching Ethan's thunderous expression, I stated evenly, Wilson Enterprises will handle all future dealings. With Phase 2 and 3 collaborations pending, I suggest maintaining professional decorum. This marked the first time I'd witnessed the perpetually superior Ethan unravel. He stared wildly. Rapid-fire questions exploding. Was this your plan from our wedding day? Using me as Ryan's stand-in? These 3 years of devotion, was any of it real? His last sentence cracked with uncharacteristic desperation. I almost laughed. What position do you have to demand answers? This was always transactional. You wanted Emma's replica to provoke her. I needed your family's resources to reclaim mine. Since when do business arrangements require genuine affection? My capacity for real love had burned out at 18. Every ember given to teenage Ryan. His memory stirred restless emotions. Irritated, I fished out cigarettes. Lighting one as I waved off the shelf shocked Ethan. We're done here. Dusk brought drizzling rain. Sliding into my car, I checked my phone to find Ryan trending. He'd publicly lambasted event organizers on Weibo for allowing journalists to storm his hotel suite. A comment demanded, so you were really in that room with married Lily Wilson? Obviously. Ryan's reply blazed across the platform. Entertaining my future boss, problem? His esports team's official account promptly posted, to clarify speculation, MS. Wilson is simply our majority shareholder and incoming owner. Player transfer fees reflecting our championship ambitions have caused temporary liquidity pressures. The entire roster, Ryan included, retweeted with variations of welcome aboard, boss. My notifications exploded with gushing messages. Queen behavior. Best investment ever. Rumor has it Rainbow Esports bankrupted themselves bringing Ryan back from overseas. Without Lily's bailout, they'd be selling gaming chairs on eBay RN. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Thank you for saving our team. Earlier hate comments from Emma stans now drowned under a sports fan tsunami. I sat stunned until cigarette ash seared my fingers. Crushing the ember, I began typing a message to Ryan. When did we ever agree to collaborate? Don't you trust that investing in me can be profitable? Sis? Ryan called me directly. I hesitated before replying. You just got back to the country. Your career is barely taking off. There's no need to sacrifice so much for me. The harsh wind and rain noises from his end gradually faded, as if he'd stepped into a quiet space. Eventually, only his crisp, mountain stream cool voice remained. So you're planning to end things between us again? Just like that? I lit another cigarette, fingers trembling slightly. Ryan, you need to prioritize your career. He let out a humorless laugh, pausing before his voice deepened. Lily, why do you think I came back? In your eyes, Ryan, the champion with every accolade, why would he return to start over from some no-name esports team? Take a guess. My messy marriage had nothing to do with him. A star player like him, with his bright future, didn't need to involve himself in my revenge schemes under the guise of helping. He was asking questions I'd known the answers to from the beginning. When I stayed silent, he cut through the tension. Lily, I never forgot that summer. It felt like someone had gripped my heart, then poured molten candy into the cracks. I couldn't tell whether the ache or sweetness cut deeper. I inhaled sharply, smoke burning my throat. Ryan, I rasped before the tears could surface. I need to see you. Now. At an upscale private hotpot spot downtown, I found myself facing Ryan's teammates. He stood stiffly nearby, storm clouds practically visible above his head. The boys lined up like cadets. Hi, boss. They chorused. I forced a polite smile. Why did you all tag along? They exchanged glances before one mumbled. Ryan said we were meeting someone super important. We'd just finished post-match analysis and figured. His voice trailed off as he eyed Ryan's murderous expression. Didn't realize it'd be our new team owner. Most were barely adults. The youngest, Song Shou-yu, hadn't even graduated high school, his crisp prep school uniform making him look absurdly innocent. Cut the act, Ryan snapped, seizing my hand to drag me toward our booth. I tried pulling free, but his grip tightened. They're practically children, I whispered. Should we really? He glared. They're faking purity. Look. The boys stood frozen. Shooting Ryan betrayed looks. We just wanted to impress our new boss. One protested. By the time we sat down, Ryan still hadn't released me. Shou-yu leaned forward earnestly. Don't worry, boss. We might be young, but we're not clueless. Totally. Another chimed in. After how Ethan publicly ambushed you at the airport, you and Ryan are basically self-defense goals. Their terminology needed work. Someone slammed his Coke can down with a hiccup. True love's always valid. Ryan tapped his chopsticks against the table. Eat. Instant silence fell. Through years of being paraded at my father's business dinners or attending Ethan's social events, I'd grown accustomed to navigating malice and disdain, perpetually walking a tightrope with my heart suspended midair. Yet here, for the first time, it touched solid ground. When we finished, the rain outside had intensified to a roar. A few kids waved goodbye enthusiastically, calling out, "Boss, come check out our practice at the training center sometime." After they left, only Ryan and I remained under the flickering streetlight. He sucked on a mint, hands buried in his hoodie pocket, watching raindrops cascade through the amber glow before yanking open the car door and hauling me inside. I stumbled onto his lap as the vehicle rocked, instinctively grabbing for support. Ryan's choked groan vibrated against my palm, his ears flushing crimson down to his collarbone. When I tried jerking my hand away, his fingers clamped over mine. You sure know where to grab, sis. His voice turned gravelly with want, mint-laced breath scalding my neck as he leaned closer. Now that you've got hold, don't let go. Hot. I breathed. That single syllable shattered his control. His chest heaved with ragged breaths as he forcibly peeled me off and dumped me into the passenger seat, gunning the engine through the downpour. Lily, he growled, windshield wipers slashing at the torrential rain. You started this. Now you'll see it through. In Ryan's steam-clouded bedroom later, his thumb pressed into the sensitive dip of my lower back. I'm going to kiss you now. The declaration rasped against my lips, his gaze weaving hypnotic patterns in the dimness. Don't look away. Outside, the storm crescendoed like nature itself was bearing witness. By 4 a.m., fingers combing through blow-dried hair, I finally remembered practicalities. Won't your actual boss object to this? The star player messing around? Maybe I should discuss partnership investments. Ryan's laugh startled me. Still haven't figured it out? There's no other boss. The club's mine. At my stunned silence, he explained how he'd established the domestic team years prior. That $40 million salary? Pure fiction. I set my own terms. His expression sobered. I needed you to know I'm not that lovesick kid anymore. I can shield you now from your parents' schemes. Public scrutiny. Anything. The words carved through me, mirroring the cruel breakup speech I delivered 7 years prior under similar rain. Back then, seawater still clung to his jacket as he'd stood resolute on my doorstep. I don't accept this. Your acceptance isn't required. I'd retorted coldly. Skipping college to play house? I could never respect some starry-eyed fool who throws away his future for romance. This was never real. The memory faded as Ryan's thumb brushed my cheek. I hated you for years. His confession came quietly. Even boarded that flight thinking I'd seen you with someone else, some guy kissing you goodnight in an evening gown. Took ages to realize. His jaw worked. You were right. What could I offer then? No stability. No power to protect you. Rain lashed the windows as our foreheads touched. The storm within had finally quieted. So when I was later invited to compete professionally, I agreed. Lily, I wanted to stand where the spotlight could reach you. Years later, I met Ryan's former teammate from his international competitions. He told me Ryan had been borderline obsessive about winning championships back then, pushing his reflexes to dangerous limits that nearly caused permanent damage. When hoisting the trophy, he'd kept staring into the dark audience stands. When I asked who he'd been looking at, he'd clammed up. But that night, oblivious to all this, I just covered my eyes and murmured, I thought you came back for revenge. I came back to date you. Ryan held my gaze. Lily, I know what you're thinking. These years have hardened you into someone unrecognizable from the girl I knew. You've been trying to act like your 18-year-old self around me. Stop it. He closed the distance, lips meeting mine. I love every version of you. On the first day of autumn, the third phase collaboration between the Johnson and Wilson families commenced. I called my mother calmly. The Wilson empire's mine now. If you want to leave, Dad, I'll help. She cursed me as an ungrateful daughter. Hanging up, I told Ryan, I can't save her. Maybe being Dad's prisoner is her destiny. He nodded, tousled hair falling over indifferent eyes as he straightened my collar. You wasted 7 years on her. Don't throw your whole life away. I reached for cigarettes in my bag, then reconsidered. Ethan agreed to divorce but demands one last meeting to sign the papers. Ryan's expression frosted over. I'm going with you. 3 evenings later at the familiar bar, Ethan stared through alcohol-glazed eyes. I broke up with Emma. Lily, can we remarry? Before I could respond, Ryan sneered. The originals returned. What use is a knockoff? Ethan paled upon seeing him. Since when have you two? None of your business. I extended my hand. The divorce papers. Now. He laughed bitterly. I regret everything. I believed those vile rumors about you because you always acted so meek around me. I never realized. Realized what? I cut in sharply. That I smoke and drink? That I outmaneuvered Dad? Or that you're pathetic, only wanting what doesn't want you? We still have business ties. Ethan. Act your status. As he slumped in defeat, I snatched the documents and left. Emma later stormed into my office, shrieking about infidelity and calling me a homewrecker. When her tirade wore thin, I stood and pressed a lit cigarette near her cheek. You sicked your fans to cyberbully me. I murmured over her screams. I tolerated it while needing Ethan. Now. The ember hovered a centimeter from her skin. Don't test me again. Extinguishing the cigarette, I watched her flee before calling security. Banned her permanently. Only then did I address the shadows. You can come out now. Ryan emerged from the shadows behind the curtains. Lily. I turned to meet his gaze. I had my overseas contacts dig up some interesting information recently. When and how to use it, that's your call. When summer arrived the following year, the joint venture between the Wilson and Johnson families in Pine Valley concluded successfully, using Ryan's intel about Emma and Ethan's overseas drug parties. I orchestrated a social media storm that landed them both in custody. As Johnson Corporation's stock plummeted, I seized multiple projects that should have been Ethan's. Looking at 5 to 10 years minimum. Song commented without looking up from his frenetic keyboard tapping. Study abroad program? More like all-night raves and weed binges. Some educational experience. The team chuckled during their routine dexterity drills, clearly enjoying the schadenfreude. Ryan remained silent until his screen flashed victory. He shoved his keyboard away. Training's over. Taking my hand, he declared, date night. Songs started protesting about next week's championship finals until Ryan's glacial stare silenced him. "Have fun, boss," he mumbled. I never expected Ryan to bring me to the shore. The once desolate beach from 7 years ago had been developed into a modestly popular tourist spot. He led me to secluded rocks where salty breezes tugged at my sundress. With a mint dissolving on his tongue, he kissed me. Our mingled breath carried memories, chaotic flashes resolving into that awkward first kiss 8 years prior. When we finally broke apart, he murmured, "I'm retiring after the finals." Retiring? I stared. Reaction times fade with age in this industry. 24's ancient. His gaze dropped to my lips. Stayed this long, wanted to win another championship. Here, where you could see. Unspoken emotions swelled in my chest. I crushed him against me. "I'll be there for every important moment from now on. Promise." During the championship, I stood behind Ryan as Rainbow Team's new owner. Watching him hoist the trophy, I remembered his former teammate's story about Ryan's bittersweet first victory overseas. My heart ached. At the press conference announcing his retirement, a reporter asked about future plans. "Staying with Rainbow," Ryan stated solemnly. As the team's first gentleman. When Emma's impending return trended online weeks later, Ryan's long-dormant account posted, focused on being the best support system. I liked the post from our couch. "Why Rainbow Team?" Ryan suddenly asked. I shook my head. Curious. Rainbows appear after storms. He set his trophy aside, lips brushing mine, with their neon lights. "Lily, I want to stay in your sky forever."